This is WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
I don't know shit about fuck.
How's everybody doing? Happy Friday night. Welcome to Friday Night Freedom. My name is KOZ, and right up there is POOKY. And we're going to be here to hopefully entertain you for the next couple of hours. Plenty of content if you are on the internet at all. The world is burning. in several different ways and shapes and forms. Oh man,
dumpster fire.
I hope everybody had a good week, man. Had a really good week, man. It was nice and cool, I guess. It warmed up a little bit, but it's been hanging around the 50s and 60s. It's not too cold. It's not hot. Had some rain, so it's been a really fantastic week. We changed my vacation policy in my job, so I have to burn a lot of hours. So it's like I'm working just a couple of days a week, and then like Thursday. Usually it's like Thursdays and Fridays, or just Fridays. Like I took today off. Next week I'm working for 3 days. I'm taking Thursday and Friday off. Then the next week I'll probably take a couple of days off. It's just I feel like a slug, really, just because I don't normally take a lot of vacation because it's just like in the Army. I never took a lot of leave, just because
that was the same way.
All of the holidays usually turned into 4 days anyway, at least 3-day weekends. So I never had the need to go and take leave. When I ETS'd with 60 or 70 days of leave that they just paid me for. It's nuts, man. So, and this is the same, I get 130 hours a year. And now what the company did, I guess, to attract new talent is they upped the parental leave. Paid parental leave. We get, if you have a kid, you get I think it's 6 or 8 weeks paid to take off, and they upped the hours, so I get like 160 hours a year. That's that's a long time. That's just a lot. That's a month. That's a month of vacation. And it's good, but we can't carry over. The old policy was you can carry over, you can have 2x. Whatever you accrue during 1 year, you can carry over twice that. Now I can only carry over 1 year's of vacation. So they're going to pay us out, but if you get paid out vacation, it gets taxed at like 25%. It's taxed like a bonus. So I'm like, taxation is theft, right?
Yeah.
Taxation is theft. So I'm like, I'm not gonna give the government money.
That's a new record.
Just because, just because they pay me some, my vacation. So I'm burning the days. So how you doing, Elizabeth? Everybody, Musa is here. We got some new ones. We got April Labrador here she's tuning in from the Philippines.
Philippines.
That's pretty awesome. John McKinnon, new listener. What's up, John? He's new. He said he's never tuned in before. He's just wondering what it's all about.
I'm sticking for the ride.
Yeah. This is going to be. I think this is going to be an interesting show. We might get, depending on what happens.
As long as I don't open my mouth the wrong way, we'll be all right.
We might get derailed. We might be in the middle of a story not related, and then some shit pops off, and then we're going to, we're going to switch topics pretty quickly. But before we begin, let me let you know, got a couple of guests coming up this Tuesday, and then the following Tuesday on December 6th, actor Ashley Williams will be joining CQ and Radar on Pop Culture Warrior. You may have seen her in your favorite Hallmark or Lifetime Channel show, but maybe you saw her in an episode of Psych, or How I Met Your Mother, or Law & Order SVU, or Warehouse 13. She's going to be joining us on Tuesday, so please tune in to that show with CQ and Radar on December 13th, which is the following Tuesday. Actor and producer Chad Lindbergh will also be on Pop Culture Warrior. Chad has been around the block a few times in movies like The Fast and Furious, October Sky, and Ghost Stalkers. So all of our shows start at 8 o'clock p.m., 2000 hours Eastern. So tune in, man. CQ stacking the guests up. So he's got some great stuff going on. So I'm going to start with some military related news, because Ursula gave me a hard time last week for talking about things that were seemingly unimportant. They were not unimportant to me. They were important to me. They were entertaining to me, and that's what we do. And this is, I put the show together, so it was interesting to me. So those were topics that I chose. So I don't know if Ursula's here tonight, but This is stuff that's military centric. So, how about the Department of Defense vax policy? There was it's been challenged. What the policy was you get vaxxed or you get kicked out, right? My job was the same way. You get vaxxed or you got to find another job. I'm getting shit from the station. I don't even know who that is. But yeah, the vax policy was really it was black or white. Either you get vaxxed or you go away. So you had the opportunity. All the branches handled their own vax policy themselves. The Air Force was pretty strict. It was again vaxxed or get out, and there was a lot of fight, a lot of pushback on that. So, and this is a legal win for those who were fighting for everything. So, all three judges in the U.S. Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals unanimously upheld a wide injunction protecting the unvaccinated U.S. Air Force personnel from being disciplined over the DoD's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. In their ruling, the Sixth Circuit judges refuted every argument made by the federal government. Doing so likely prevented any further appeal and provided a helpful foundation for judges to rule similarly in other cases. Steve Crampton, general counsel representing the class action lawsuit brought forward by Air Force personnel, said, quote, "This decision is a thorough and detailed analysis which rebuts and refutes the government's best arguments in favor of the vaccine mandate. In the end, we anticipate that any attempts to appeal or obtain a rehearing will be futile. Resistance is futile." This lawsuit is centered on the religious exemptions request filed by Air Force members. Basically, about 10,000 religious exemption requests were filed. Only 135 of those 10,000 requests were approved. Those 135 approvals were granted to people who were going to leave the service anyway. So they were leaving, so they didn't have to get the jab. So the U.S. Air Force plans to unveil. Oh, wow, that's the next story. So so that's a win for people that didn't want to get the jab on religious terms. There were a bunch of like administrative exemptions, and there were only 135 religious exemptions, and there was another category of exemptions that was granted. There were like thousands in those two categories each, and they were granted no problem. But the religious exemption was not. They were not granted. So they got sued, and now I guess I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know what's going to happen, because there's always legal challenges here, there, and sideways, right?
I'm reading the chat. Sorry. Musa said, "Have you heard of ASDS?" And I know exactly where he's going.
What is ASDS?
It's an adult sudden death syndrome.
Yeah, you open up you look at the news, and there's all kinds of so and so died suddenly, and unexplained deaths. This guy was
like pro athletes that are at their peak health.
20s and 20 and 30-year-olds, and of course a lot of older folks too. But yeah, no, I haven't.
No. I mean, that's been a big hashtag that pops up every now and then on the Twitterverse, because I've been perusing Twitter, and every now and then you'll see "died suddenly" all over. Like, okay, all right.
Wow.
It's just.
Yeah, I have a guy that I work with. He used to work at Dallas Fort Worth International Airport. He was a mechanic out there. And there was a guy that he worked with. He was it's like his wife's cousin or something like that. But he died suddenly over Thanksgiving. It was the day after Thanksgiving. He went to work. he said he wasn't feeling good, and he said, I'm going to go home. They said, okay, we'll see ya. And he told his wife, hey, I'm coming home. I'm not feeling good. 2 hours later, his wife is calling work going, where's my husband? He should have been home already. And then she's got one of those phone trackers, the iPhone. Where's my iPhone? It's not a where's my iPhone thing, but you can track, like, you can track your kids, or you can track whatever.
Like a family app kind of thing.
So she pulled up the app and said that well, he's in the parking garage still, and had been there for a couple of hours, for the 2 hours that he should have been home already, but he's been in the parking garage for 2 hours. So they went to go look for him, and he had died. He was dead, but he had fallen, of course, and there was blood because he cracked his head on something. But he ended up dying.
That's nuts.
So Musa says, I think it has something to do with enlarged heart tissue. I think that's called
Yes.
myocarditis. Is that correct?
Myocarditis, yes.
That is nuts.
Hey,
it sucks because I it was one of those things. I was going to lose my job unless I got the jab, so I got the jab. I got
a similar with my mother. She got it. Now she's got a bunch of what do they call it? Poly. It's not fibromyalgia. It's poly. Like after, like not even like a couple of months afterwards, she was diagnosed. And I was like, it might be a coincidence. It might be something. I don't think anyone in my family has had it, but it sucks because she's like walking around looking like a turtle now. And I was like, it's just no.
But there's no. I mean, there's, and it's pretty. It's just. I guess it's coincidental, but everyone knows. It's one of those things where in the back of your mind what the reason is. But if you get people to investigate it, they'll say that it's just coincidental.
Yeah. I mean, I could put a statistic down that's weird, correlation, because I always say correlation doesn't equal causality. I guess that's
causation, yeah.
Yeah, but as the internet has progressed, more people commit suicide. So, I mean, is the internet a bad thing for the human mind? I mean, really? I mean,
or you get that post hoc fallacy,
Yeah.
This happened because of that, or did that cause this to happen? It's crazy. So right now, this is really, really exciting. I'm an aviation geek.
Oh, yes.
And it kind of sucks because I can't pay attention to it right now. But Northrop Grumman, the Air Force has released plans that they're going to. It's another stealth bomber. So the Air Force plans to unveil the most advanced aircraft created this week after spending nearly $203 billion on the program. This is happening right now. At the start of this show is when the big reveal was supposed to happen out in Palmdale. So anyway, the B-21 Raider stealth bomber is being unveiled right now at the North Grumman facility in Palmdale, California. That is a very, very sleek and sexy. It's very sexy. It kind of looks like the B-2, but it's different.
It's smaller.
It is smaller.
It's smaller.
It is smaller. I went on
Which is better.
Yes. I went on a tour. This is a long time ago, dude. This is pre-96. This is probably 93, 94. We went, I don't know what they call it now or even if they do it anymore. It's called Operation Roving Sands. We go down to Albuquerque.
So I was part of Red Flag exercise down in Ellis a lot. And you'd see all the craziness. And this was like, the what they call it, the big three or whatever, all the English speaking nations would get together and do their crazy shit. All right, cool.
Ours was nothing. I think it was operating. We were just operating in a sand environment, and we were not shadowing. We were assisting.
No.
We were assisting the DEA down on the border.
Red Flag was full blown war games, just like let's test each other's fighter jets against each other.
No,
shit. Yes,
it wasn't anything like that. No, we were down on the Mexican border, southern United States border with Mexico. We were flying because we had Apaches, and as an avionics person, I supported the Apaches. And they would just fly the border with all their infrared night seeing capabilities, and then they would let the DEA know, hey, there's folks coming across over here, or they would actually prioritize the targets. So we caused a lot of.
They're actually revealing it right now. Live.
You just need a whole bunch of pictures because it's pretty awesome, man. So I'm going to tell you about the bomber. The bomber is designed to carry out long-range bombing missions and nuclear missions employing cutting-edge stealth technologies. Currently, 6 bombers are being built in Palmdale. The Air Force projects that the B-21 will cost about $700 million per copy. The B-21 is expected to be in service next year, 2023. The aircraft has been in development since 2015. So yeah, development of aircraft it takes a long damn time. The aircraft that I'm developing, we started in 2014, and the government still hasn't bought it yet. We're waiting for a contract announcement. The advanced aircraft was named after the Doolittle Raiders, a team of B-21 bomber crewmen from World War II known for their bravery. Representatives of Northrop called the B-21 a pioneering and technologically advanced aircraft. Full details about the bomber have been kept tightly under wraps, with next to nothing having been revealed about the aircraft. Photos of the plane haven't even been revealed at this point, only artist renderings of the aircraft revealed by the Air Force, and a teaser reel released by Northrop showing the shape of the B-21 hidden beneath a silk covering. The plane is to utilize previously unseen stealth technology to avoid detection from enemies and could be capable of flying with or without pilots. How cool is that? My personal opinion is that terrestrial aircraft that cost nearly $1 billion per copy should never be flown unmanned. I get it, though. Autonomy and the potential thereof is written into the requirements for new aircraft by the Pentagon. It's no secret. So the aircraft that was designed and we built one copy of it. We actually flew it autonomously. From engine start to taxi, takeoff, flew around several waypoints, returned to station, landed, taxied, shut down. All of it was autonomous. There were pilots in the seat, but all of those actions were done autonomously. So it's pretty awesome, man. It really is pretty awesome. It's amazing the amount of software that goes into making these planes fly. Northrop President Tom Jones said that the plane is optimized for operations in highly contested environments. The unveiling event today will be an invitation only. Jones said that the development of the plane involved about 8,000 people across 40 states. I think it's the first view of what's going to be another great capability of this country. So that's pretty cool, man. That I geek out over new aircraft, new technology, new ways to put us ahead of the Chinese, particularly, and any adversary. Oh, is that the
That's
the
the
hooty
live,
hoo?
yes.
So there's a
I'm trying to
SecDef.
figure out how to get the audio across it, but I don't know if I can do that or not. But
That's the SecDef, right? Okay. So there's the aircraft right there, and this is pretty cool because they're only allowed to take pictures from certain angles, and I guess it's just from the front. They're not allowed to look at everything behind it. And of course they have to stay. I think the whole press pool had to stay 75 feet away.
oh yeah, oh no, I remember with the Raptor, the Raptor, the F-22 Raptor was like my, as a kid when they were developing it, was like I was like, yee, this is awesome. It was like big. Ended up building model planes, and I loved airplanes and stuff like that. And that was like a dream of mine to fly a freaking fighter jet, but I never got to do it. But like watching the Raptor fly, I was like, there's things I don't even want to talk about it after like seeing it. you get what I'm saying. I'm not allowed to say it. You know, like, holy shit, I didn't realize you could do that.
So the cool thing about this is it's basically a flying wing. It's meant to, you know, it's just long range. It's not meant for maneuverability. So, you know, you kind of, it's just cool, man. It's just really, really, really cool. I love technology, man. So anyway, I guess we get to get up to the next story, I suppose. Dude, what? I mean, because we were talking earlier about the internet being on fire, and it's been on fire. Actually, this fire has transferred to other things, and we can talk about that in a little bit. But what the hell's going on with Kanye West? Has he lost his freaking mind?
I don't really I don't know.
I don't think anybody knows.
Look, we're trying to figure this out here. I mean, he was on was it Tim Pool's podcast for like maybe.
So Tim Pool, okay, you mentioned Tim Pool. Tim Pool is he's the young guy. He looks young. He always wears a cap. Yeah, a beanie.
Like a beanie. Okay. Yeah.
Now I know who you're talking about.
Like a skull cap, beanie, whatever you want to call it. But he had him on there. He's all hyped up, like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, Kanye for president. And then he got him on the show, and he was like, holy crap, you know, I might have took an L on this. But, you know, Alex Jones picked him up right after that. And this, like, whew, that whole interview.
So yes, Kanye West has, you see that picture? Kanye West has been under fire lately for making public anti-Semitic comments. He has since lost over, and I talked about this last week, he's lost over $1 billion in merchandise revenue, and it only seems to be getting worse, and he's really doing nothing to help himself. So now, according to reports, he is enthusiastically praising Adolf Hitler. So when I came across this information, I was sure that it was an article that was just written out of context. Maybe he said something and his words are just being twisted. So I looked at different sources, and holy crap, I have determined that Kanye West is out of his damn mind. Kanye West said these things in an interview with Alex Jones. And this is just my comment here. I'm not a personal manager or an image consultant, but I can tell you this. If you're up against the wall and you're bleeding money because you made some absolutely horrible comments, the last show that you should be considering appearing on is InfoWars with Alex Jones. Alex Jones shot off his mouth and was sued to the tune of $965 million. Jones said some damn stupid stuff, saying that the Sandy Hook shootings in 2012 were fake, and he encouraged his audience to harass the alleged victims. And I say that in quotes, alleged victims, because he said everything was fake and stuff. So yeah, he got taken to court and he got sued, rightfully so. So anyway, Kanye appears on Alex Jones's show called InfoWars. Jones offered West an opportunity to either explain his anti-Semitic comments or distance himself from what he said. Alex Jones says, "You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and be demonized." Then Kanye went into a batshit crazy mode. He said, quote, "I see good things about Hitler also. The guy that invented these are his words, and I'll talk about them in a minute." He says, "I've seen good things about Hitler. This guy invented highways. He invented the very microphone that I use every day as a musician. You can't say out loud that this person never did anything good. I'm done with that. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler." End quote. First of all, Kanye, the oldest roads in the world date back to 4000 BC in Mesopotamia, currently known as the country of Iraq. And everyone knows that ice helped build those.
Yes, ice.
He was out there.
I've stood on the ruins of Mesopotamia in my lifetime, and they're still there. Better than anything the U.S. government has ever produced.
As far as the modern roadways, a blind Scottish man named John Metcalfe developed what is accepted right now as the modern roadway back in the 1700s. If you misspoke and you meant that Hitler built the Autobahn, you would be wrong again. Construction on what is now known as the Autobahn began in the 1920s. Hitler had nothing to do with it. So let's talk about your microphone. Emil Berliner invented the first microphone in 1876 with Thomas Edison. David E. Hughes independently created the same type of carbon microphone in 1878. Alexander Graham Bell bought the patent to Berliner's mic in 1878. In 1892, the Supreme Court ruled that it was Edison who had invented the microphone, not Adolf Hitler. Shall we continue? How much worse do you think this can get?
Oh, you think you could potentially worse? Let's do it.
So at one point, Alex Jones says that he doesn't like Nazis. He doesn't like the evil Nazi. What did he say? He said, I don't like the evil Nazis or something. And then Kanye says, I like Hitler. Come on, dude. But he continued. He goes, I don't like the word evil next to the word Nazi. He goes, I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis, end quote. So imagine for just a moment that these words came out of a white person's mouth.
I don't think it matters who says it.
No, I don't think. I mean, is there? I just created another. I got banned from Twitter, and I decided that it's not worth the fight to try to like regain my stuff. So I uninstalled the app and everything. But tonight, with all this Twitter stuff, I decided to start another Twitter account just to. I'm following like 3 people. I don't know if I'm going to keep it yet.
Oh, you gotta
is there a lot of stuff out there in Twitter about what Kanye West was flapping about?
Okay. I wake up. This is my thing. I wake up. I do my morning ritual. I drink. I don't drink coffee. I drink tea. So I have my like vanilla chai is my preference. So I have a vanilla chai. I'm sitting there. I'm smoking a cigarette. I pull my phone up. I'm like, straight dumpster fire. Like, what the heck?
What happened?
So I'm spending the rest of the next 2 hours, which is usually dedicated to watching my TV shows, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Why is everyone losing their mind?
And that was because of what Kanye said.
Running his mouth. I mean, I will say this: Tim Pool missed out on a good opportunity because I think Alex Jones had more viewership than he's had in the last 3 years on his InfoWars crap. People were just eating it up.
Well, that's good. I mean, he let him hang himself.
Oh, I'm 100% with that. You're gonna let someone, hey, here's the rope. Keep handing it to him.
So anyway, Kanye got banned again from Twitter at Elon Musk's Twitter.
No, yeah, well, he was like, enough's enough.
Twitter users were riled up at Kanye's posting of an image of a swastika inside the Star of David.
And that's crazier even.
This is a crazy story that has several different sides to it. So check this out. A couple of things. Adolf Hitler did not invent the swastika. He bastardized it and he adopted it as a symbol of the Nazi regime. The swastika is actually a variation on a Sanskrit word that translates to good fortune or well-being. In personal experience, my wife has a few Buddha statues that she got from Tibet. And they all have swastikas on them. Buddha's got a swastika on his chest. Mm-hmm. So it's there's tons and tons of images. I mean, we used to, until Hitler came around, the swastika symbol was used in everything. If you look at it here's Kanye in the upper left. Well, right below that, guess what? Drink Coca-Cola in bottles, 5 cents a bottle. Over on the right-hand side, That's a freaking hospital layout with the swastika symbols on it. So I get it. I'm going to come to Kanye's defense on this with that symbol, but he's going to lose my support here in a little bit. So I don't know. Was he trying to pass off that image as his own?
See, that's the crazy part. I was on TikTok earlier telling people this. I was like, hey, I think Ice brought it up. I knew about it a little bit because there's some crazy people out in the world you got to pay attention to. But I think Ice brought it up in our main business chat. The best way to explain it. I was like, yeah, okay, at least he figured it out. You know, the alien people.
oh, and we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, okay.
So here I was thinking that Kanye was trying to pass that off as his own, and it's not. It wouldn't have been the first time that he's taken a symbol and tried to pass it off as his own. So this Kanye's image bears a striking resemblance to the logo used by the United States Raelian movement. In basic terms, this is tinfoil stuff, dude. This really is tinfoil stuff. So let's look at this. The Raelian movement is an organization that was created in 1974 and believes that all life on Earth was created by aliens. The symbolism that they use features a swastika inside the Star of David, identical to the one that Kanye was using. The symbolism that they use features a swastika inside the Star of David. It's not just close to Kanye's symbol. It's an exact duplicate. So I had to ask, is Kanye a Raelian? No, because he talks about God a lot.
He does. No, I'm sitting here just like looking like, I mean, I don't want to say a certain cult that runs around that's really big in Hollywood because, you know, they're really notorious about like going after people, but no, I won't say that name.
Is this the Tom Cruise people?
Yes.
Okay. The science people, ology, those guys.
Oh dear Lord, why?
So the Star of David, the Star of David represents infinity in space. The extraterrestrials who created humankind in laboratories have discovered that the infinitely large and the infinitely small are alike. For instance, every atom in our hand is composed of infinitely small particles that are similar to planets and galaxies. Conversely, galaxies are particles of a huge atom in the gigantic universe, and so it happens onto infinity. The swastika in the center reminds us of the shape of our galaxy and represents infinity in time. Everything in the universe is infinitely small as well as, or infinitely large as well as infinitely small. It's in constant transformation. Matter has no beginning and no ending. Everything is cyclical. Nothing is lost, nothing is created, everything is transformed. So that is
on a scientific level, that makes sense.
So there's all kinds of, this is, if you go to raelusa.org, you can read some of this stuff. It's interesting.
I'm not about promoting cults. So.
No, I mean it is a cult. In my opinion, it is a cult, but it's not like a. It doesn't seem. I mean, these people, because there's pictures where I don't know, or there are pictures. But I mean, these folks look. I mean, they're freaking happy. And you know, if you're gonna do this, and if this shit makes you happy, all the power to you, all the power to you. But you know, they're not a danger to everyone else. It's a different way of thinking. It's not for everybody. So
I mean, until a weird asteroid comes around and you never
dude,
seen it
yeah, what was that?
and...
The what was that? Halley's Comet and the Heaven's Gate cult.
Gate.
Yeah.
Yes. Or or what was his name, Jim Jones, and drink the Kool-Aid.
Drink the Kool-Aid, people. Yeah, that was, dude. There's the that makes me cry, dude. I've watched some documentaries on that shit. So what's happening with God? I hope this is the right slide. Yes, it is. What's going on with Musk now? Musk is blowing up Twitter right now. But Musk. Okay, Twitter is Elon Musk's. He's the guy. He owns it.
He owns it.
And he's running things. Some say that he's running it into the ground. But today he was talking about releasing documents?
The Twitter files. It's what it's trending right now. Like probably about 30 minutes before we even got on the show, the Twitter files started, and it's pretty crazy.
What are they dropping though? So I got
emails. I think I'm up to 30 something on this trend or thread or whatever they call it on there.
Is it up to 30 now?
It's 36 is the last I saw it, but it's just like emails between specific political parties saying, "Hey, censor these people because we don't want them talking." Blah blah blah. It's best way that I can break it down.
In an effect to affect an election.
An election,
possibly?
Yes, possibly, yes. But I mean, before even this was happening, I think there was like actual documents. I don't know. I've seen it. Don't know if they're real or not because there's no way to really verify anything on the internet unless someone comes out and says it. But like New Zealand, they had backdoor access to like Facebook and all these social media. Like it's getting crazy. The more information that's come out about this crap.
Contributions by party of recipient. Okay, I'm not sure what all of these mean, so I'm just scrolling through, man. Because I mean,
well, I'm scrolling too, looking at it, and it's like.
And
like
the thing is, President Biden.
I
mean, with all this documentation, I mean, President Biden has to answer to some of this, right?
Does he?
I don't know.
He's got the media in his back pocket. He just be quiet. Huh? Like, we don't hear anything about the whole not Nancy Pelosi, Paul Pelosi hammer fighting anymore. That got quiet real quick when NBC came out and like kind of confirmed the fact that none of this shit makes sense. But
so when all these releases, you can grab a bunch of really good email addresses because none of that's been redacted. Everything is out there.
None of it's redacted. I'm reading it. No? There's like a list of New York Post Hunt Biden laptop article privilege and confidential. Our team's continued investigation or of blah 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 blah. There's a whole bunch of Twitter.com emails. Will we also mark these stories as unsafe, not real?
Well, here's the unsafe thing. Yeah, I'm struggling to understand the policy basis for marking this as unsafe, and I think the best explainability, which isn't a word, waiting to understand for the story, hack materials, blah 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 blah. More.
I mean, you've even got Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan Experience, right? Coming out and saying, "Hey, the FBI hit us up. We limited reach on this specific news story. You could still see it, but we limited it." No, like
it's not going to be. So if you search, it might be on page 5, not page 1.
Yes.
Is that what limiting means?
I guess
the information is still there.
I mean, they were even doing this. This shit's been going on since before Trump was elected, and I remember like this big news story coming across where like Google was getting caught up with like editing their like search, kind of like you type in like Hillary Clinton email server and it would be a blank search kind of thing.
Oh. And
Twitter was really bad about this with like, I want to look up my favorite guy or whatever it is, so I'd type his name in and none of his tweets would come up. they were like it was like a form of shadow ban kind of thing. You know, like you don't see it, so the public can't. You have to dig to get at it, pretty much.
You have to earn that information, I suppose.
Yes. They weren't hiding the information. They're just making it a little bit more difficult for, you know, the average, I guess, the internet user, I guess, at that point, the end user to find it. No?
So this guy, the guy that's providing this information, his name is Matt
Tabby,
Matt Taibbi. So if you go down to Twitter and if you go to Twitter and just type in Elon Musk, I think this is like a pinned tweet for him. It's a link to this thread.
He threw his little popcorn emojis. Like, here we go. I guess I don't know if he leaked like information out to a journalist or something like that. I don't know what the gist of this, you know. But I saw it. It was like about 30 minutes before we started the show. I was like, oh, shit's about to get fucking spicy on the Twitterverse. Right now, trending number 2 is Go Elon and Space Karen. What's this one?
Oh no.
The reminders, blah 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 blah. Just the reminders that Space Karen has allowed so many Nazis back. Although they're calling Elon Space Karen.
Oh jeez. So it looks like the dump is done for the night.
I think I'm up to 34, 36 or something like that. So I guess
Matt
that's the end
said
of it.
12 minutes ago, he said, it's been a whirlwind 96 hours for me. There's much more to come, including answers to questions about issues like shadow banning, boosting, follower counts, the fate of various individual accounts, and more. These issues are not limited to the political right. Good night, everyone. Thanks to all who picked up the phone in the last few days. This dude's got hundreds of thousands of likes. Let's see, 51.8 thousand retweets.
When he first posted the first like quote unquote #1 Twitter files, he was less than 100,000 on followers at that point, and he's up to pushing almost 1 million now at that point.
Let's see. Matt,
970K,
970.4 thousand.
And it's just shooting up. Someone posted a meme like, remember Donald Trump looking at the Eclipse bare-eyed? Like his follower account right now. Like,
this is nuts. So what? Trending.
I don't even know this. I don't even know who this guy is. But
how do I see? I've never heard of him. I don't even know if he's a real person. How do I see?
Trending is on the what's happening. I don't know if you're on like an actual PC browser.
I'm on a PC browser. Yeah.
Be on your right side. This is what's happening.
Well, there's nothing on the right side. Oh, okay. What's happening? Okay. NBA Live, the Heat versus the Celtics, and then trending in the United States, Matt Taibbi, and then there's all my North Texas stuffs. Where's Elon? SmackDown. I don't know. Show more.
So
always show
okay.
more.
Here's a question for anyone who is a big I was anti-Twitter up until just recently.
I've been anti-Twitter up until, I had Twitter. I got banned 3 times, and I've been anti-Twitter since I got banned, and now I'm getting back into being interested in Twitter again.
I mean, but was the heart like thing blue up until recently? Like people were complaining about that, like
the blue check mark.
No, like when you liked something, it was like a blue heart, and now it's a red heart. No. Apparently,
I don't remember.
And people are losing their mind on that. And I don't know. I like Twitter for me was like I had a persona account. I have a persona account that I just kind of
looks. I mean,
shit post on.
Red is red. A heart is red. Or a heart isn't blue.
Who knows at that point?
Suzanne Monk. I look forward to hearing about shadow banning from my deeply shadow banned account. Make it make sense.
I think my persona account's super shadow banned.
I don't know, man. I got into some. The reason I got into Twitter is just to give AOC a hard time. But I think she probably. I made comments. She responded to those comments, or whoever's using her account. I mean, she doesn't know what a damn garbage disposer is, but she can do Instagram and Twitter. But she responded to me a couple times, and we had some okay conversations. But she looked up, looked down at me from her high seat, and then all of a sudden she never responded to me. But I would get a lot of flack from some of her followers, and then I just stopped getting responses altogether. So I guess if that's what shadow banning means, that's what I experienced. But the reason I followed her is just to see what's the next stupid thing that she's going to say. I mean, she talked about, we need to repair, the Arecibo telescope in Puerto Rico. I'm like, dude, that's been on the slot for just decommissioning for the longest time. It's just an old ass telescope, and there was an earthquake and it got really damaged. I'm wondering what happened to Pookie. I think he had to take a quick break or something, because he threw up his he made some faces and he threw up his taxation as theft logo thingy, and he left. So I was gonna talk about FIFA, the World Cup, of soccer. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a soccer fan. I don't like soccer. I don't think it's as engaging a sport as American football is. I don't hate it. I just don't watch it. I don't consume soccer. But this is the World Cup. The World Cup is now happening in Qatar. We talked about it a little bit last week. And I'm going to talk a little bit. Hey, Kaz, why did they ban James Woods? James Woods, I don't know why they banned him, to be honest. I don't know. Did Musk ban him? Maybe he banned him. Are you okay, man?
Oh, I'm good. I just had to, like literally, I was about to piss myself.
Okay, good. I was like, man, he threw up that. I saw you making faces and you were leaning back in your chair. I'm like, is he laughing? I couldn't really tell. But anyway, I started talking about soccer, just because we're all soccer fans here, right? No, we're not.
Football.
I'm an American football guy. Anyway, earlier this week, the men's U.S. soccer team faced off against the Iranian soccer team, it was pretty awesome. The United States soccer team emerged victorious, and the final score was 1-0. So that's pretty cool. Go USA. This is pretty awesome. What's interesting, and I read this last night, what's interesting is the new agreement between the U.S. men's and women's soccer team is about to get activated after the men's team got through the group stage. The teams will split the prize money for the World Cup, as the equal pay agreement was signed this year. So given the fact that the men's team advanced to the round of 16, both teams will evenly split $13 million, and they will continue to split prize money as the competition progresses. So the women's soccer team right now doesn't need to play anything. They don't need to do anything. They get half the money that the men's soccer team earns right now.
Are they playing right now, though?
Holy crap, this isn't the 25th of November.
Oh.
Damn it. Okay. Let me change that real quick. What is that? Today's the 2nd of December. December 2nd. 2DCEMBER 2022.
See, I agree with Musso on that.
What did he say?
It's not fair to split the money between the two because they are not playing, and it'd be kind of like me saying, "Hey, I'm welding pipeline, and now I got to split with the Gophers." You know.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because people are getting paid for work that they didn't do. I don't agree with that. Another thing that let's just leave it at that. People are getting paid they're getting paid for work that they didn't perform.
No, I don't have a problem, with. I don't know. It's a weird freaking subject to get into because people get heated about it. It's kind of like the women's basketball WNBA, right? They don't get royalties on like jersey sales and shit. And I was like, what the fuck?
They should. If someone buys a woman, pick your favorite women's NBA. If someone buys some of her merchandise or her number or whatever, she should get a cut.
Yes, but apparently that's not a thing in the women's NBA, and I just found that out probably about like 3 or 4 hours ago. I was like, wait, what?
That's definitely wrong.
That's not fair at that point.
See, and as far like the viewership for women's NBA is nowhere near what it is for the regular men's NBA, the men's teams. I guess women aren't they don't play in the NBA. They have their own division. So they don't make as much. There's not as much viewership. People don't go to the games as much as they would for a professional, a men's professional basketball team. So they don't get. I mean, they don't get paid as much. It's all very. You get a percentage of what the.
But merchandise and shit should qualify over.
Exactly. Merchandise ought to be, if you endorse or if you get signed by Nike for endorsements or whatever, you ought to get paid for all that. Moose is saying they're not popular. Yeah, they're not popular. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't get paid for endorsements.
I mean, there's people who watch it, and if I buy a jersey, like I bought a Army Black Knights jersey.
You did get that
upcoming. Yes, I'm waiting for it. Comes tomorrow, so I was hoping I could wear it tonight.
That's for the Army Navy game jersey.
Yes.
Yeah, the first Armor
it's
Division.
better than the Navy's and NASA bullshit. But no, but like if I buy a jersey for a specific player, that specific player should get a cut. That's the way I look at it. It doesn't matter who they are. What gender? It doesn't matter at that point. Let them get a cut.
So back to soccer, kickball, professional kickball with a net, hockey with no sticks,
field hockey.
Field hockey. So I mentioned Iran lost, right? So members of the Iranian national soccer team could face arrests or perhaps worse, brutal beatings upon their return home from the World Cup.
All right, Saddam.
This is according to multiple experts who fear for the team's safety following Tuesday's loss to the United States. Kenneth R. Timmerman, a political author and expert on Iran, provided his opinion that after the team's initial protest of its country's national anthem, dude, they played the Iranian national anthem and all the players stood silent. They didn't sing the national anthem.
I can understand why.
He thinks that they're going to face some retribution. He goes, I would be afraid of arrest. He says, even if they won, they would have been arrested and probably beaten and warned to don't ever do that again. Former CIA covert operations officer Mike Baker added that punishments for the players could be brutal. Given that what we've seen in the Iranian regime, they've shown themselves to be brutal, and there's no reason to believe that they're going to suddenly become rational. The Iranian players chose not to sing along with their national anthem ahead of its World Cup opening game versus England to show support for protesters in their home country. But 4 days later against Wales, that protest ceded and the players sang the national anthem. Prior to their loss to the United States on Tuesday, players sang once again, amid reports that their families would face violence and torture if the protests picked up again. Still, Baker said that the initial protest combined with the 1-0 loss to the Americans could turn into fines or arrests. Neither is good if you're an Iranian player upon returning home. There is punishment for dissent in Iran. So when this is a heartbreaking story. When the last whistle blew in the World Cup soccer match between Iran and the United States, signifying that the game was over, the United States had come up on top 1-0. A strange thing happened in the streets of Iranian cities. So a form of protest in Iran was to cheer the loss of the Iranian soccer team to the United States, okay? So one man named Mehran Samek, he was 27 years old, in the city of Anzali in eastern Iran, was sitting in his car with his fiancee, honking his horn in jubilant celebration for the telling blow against his regime. A member of the security services walked up to his car, shot him in the head. He died for celebrating Iran's loss to the United States. So
see, people like to throw the word. I don't like to say the word. I'll just say Yahtzee.
Okay.
Around, but that is fascism, right there. That is totalitarianism. I can't even say the word right now. I'm heated about it. That's bullshit.
So
that is bullshit.
Iran isn't the only country that sucks like this.
Well, no, they're probably not even the worst of them.
This is pretty bad. I'd hate to see worse than this. So in the 2010 FIFA World Cup, North Korea played for the first time on the world stage since 1966. It had been 44 years. In their first match, they lost to Brazil 1-0. That was actually a pretty good showing, and seeing that the North Korean team appeared to be very competitive, the North Korean government decided to allow its citizens to watch the next game. So they allowed that broadcast to come through into North Korea. North Korea played against Portugal, and the match was broadcast for all to see. Portugal beat North Korea 7-0. Kim Jong-un was very, very not happy. Let's just say that. North Korea's third game was against Ivory Coast, and North Korea lost 3-0. Upon return to North Korea, the entire team, minus 2 players who were raised in Japan, were summoned to Pyongyang for, quote, harsh ideological criticism. There they were ordered to be reprimanded. They were reprimanded, and then they were ordered to reprimand the coach, who had then was later sentenced to hard labor for losing. And we're talking about that's North Korea, and you mentioned Iraq earlier, didn't
yes.
Uday Hussein feed some of his Iraqi soccer players to lions or some shit like that?
I don't remember the whole story about it, but I knew like some of them wound up executed because of poor performance.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I want to play for you if I know that if I lose, you're gonna kill me?
I really feel bad. There was and I had some pictures, and I really should have posted them. There was some really good sportsmanship. I mean, the whistle was blown, time was expired, and there was just such great sportsmanship between the Iranian players and the United States players. It was really, really cool. It was just awesome to see. But I failed. So that means, oh my gosh, it's 5 minutes after. So I think we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about, oh my gosh, robot cops. This is awesome.
Robot cops.
Student loan forgiveness, ice fishing mishaps.
Please tell me you get the Florida man fireworks story in there.
No, but I can get it. Let me see.
I know it off the top of my head, so we might talk about
okay.
it if we have to.
meth monks. And
meth monks.
Remember that dude that got arrested that had that huge ass neck?
Oh yeah, like he always rolled around with the skinny neck dude, long neck guy.
He got arrested again, and we'll talk about that. But we're gonna take a break right now. So get up, stretch out your legs, grab a beverage, go to the bathroom. I don't know, go walk the dog, go have a cigarette or something. We're gonna be back in just a couple of minutes here on WTF Nation Radio. We'll see you in just a few shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio.
Oh, I don't think I'm a lot dumber than you thought that I thought I was once.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Welcome back, everybody. Almost forgot to press the special button. Welcome back, everybody, for part 2 of Friday Night Freedom here with KOZ and POOKY. What's going on, man? Did I point? I did. I pointed in the right direction. This is awesome. Yeah, I know. I mean, every time, because I don't know, do I have my camera flipped or whatever? But yeah, Pookie's right over there. And thank you all for hanging out, man. This is great. My name is KOZ. That's Pookie, and we're going to continue with the second half. Thanks for hanging out this far. So there was an interesting Joseph Call says, let's talk about how drills don't get their instructor badge, but NCOs that teach for 40 hours do.
Is that a thing?
I need some context on that. These are excellent questions for the Thursday show, which is produced and performed by ICE, and he's on Thursdays for Sergeant's Time. And that occurs on Thursday evenings at 2000 hours Eastern. But it is an interesting... I mean, NCOs are there to just like reinforce training that's been had. They've gone probably through the same training. For like combat medic. So the combat medic instructors probably get their instructor badge or whatever. I don't know, man. It's been so long since I've been in. I really don't know.
I'm pushing like 10 years at this point.
The politics, yeah, dude. I've been out since shit, dude. This is
like just listening to the Thursday show. Like most of the time, I'm like, what the fuck is going on with the?
I'm like, that's a thing, and mold in the barracks. I'm like, what? Well, our barracks were made of freaking. I mean, I lived in some old ass barracks, but they were well taken care of, and they didn't. I don't know that they had mold. If they had mold, I had no idea. But all the other, I lived in like Starship type barracks where everything was like cinder blocks. There was like, I don't think there was a piece of wood in the entire building.
I just remember ICE saying Smoke Bomb Hill, and it just brought me back to my days. Like, holy shit, there was mold in them barracks back when I was a young. Well,
it's like Tank Hill. Was that Jackson? Tank Hill at Jackson? So yeah, I changed my shirt. I had to take off I was wearing a hoodie, but things are getting a little hot back here. I mean, I'm kind of
getting hot,
moving around, so I had to take off my hoodie. So robot cops, man, San Francisco did a thing. San Francisco did a thing, and this is it's. I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing, but there's people that are losing their freaking minds about it. Supervisors in San Francisco. Oh, what do you think? It's a bad thing?
No, it's a horrible thing.
So here's the story. We can discuss it. Supervisors in San Francisco voted Tuesday to give police the ability to use potentially lethal remote-controlled robots in emergency situations. The vote was 8-3. I thought it would be closer than that, with the majority agreeing to grant police the option despite strong objections from civil liberties and other police oversight groups. Opponents said that the authority would lead to the further militarization of a police force already too aggressive with poor and minority communities. Police spokesman Allison Maxey says, quote, robots equipped in this manner would only be used in extreme circumstances to save or prevent further loss of innocent lives, end quote. Some people vocally opposed to this are crying that, quote, this has never been seen before except in the movies, end quote. I would like to set the record straight. San Francisco is not the first city to do this.
New York.
Nope. Dallas.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Huh?
They might be the first city to approve this as a policy, but they're not the first city to deploy a robot in an offensive manner. For instance, I remember, dude, I was listening to Red Leg back in 2016, and this shit popped off in Dallas. In 2016, on July 7th, 2016, Micah Xavier Johnson ambushed a group of police officers in Dallas, Texas, shooting and killing 5 officers and injuring 9 others. 2 civilians were also wounded. It is noted that he is a veteran of Afghanistan. He was a Army reservist, construction worker. I'm sorry, a carpenter. He was a carpenter. Micah was cornered, and he was protesting. The reason why he shot up the police is he was protesting a police brutality incident that happened in New Orleans. I believe that's why. So Micah was cornered in a building, and that's when police negotiators arrived at the scene. Negotiations progressed until Micah began firing his weapon at police again, because he was a black nationalist. So someone chimed on, the negotiator chimed on, and the negotiator said that he was black, and Micah didn't believe him, so he started shooting again. That's when police officers deployed a robot armed with 1 pound of angry Play-Doh. Micah died from blunt force due to the explosion on July 8th, 2016. So yeah, the Dallas Police Department deployed a bomb sniffing robot, or it was a robot. It was like a Johnny 5 with a pound of C4 on it, and blew up the opposite side of the wall that he was sitting in, and it killed him. So you don't think having this type of technology or this type of ability is a good thing for cops? What about all that like in L.A. with those fuckers with AK-47s and other automatic weapons were popping off rounds?
I mean, you know me where I sit with things, and I do not like the idea of our police force being militarized. I do not like the idea behind that. It's scary if you think about it, no? Because you give, okay, I was like I always explain to like my mom's always confused because she's a CO, and she's like, I don't know why these guys have this shit, no? And I'd explain to her, it's like, you don't give big boy toys to little kids, not expecting them to play with the big toys. You know, you don't hand a flamethrower to a 3-year-old.
No, because they'd have the time of their life.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, if you see where I'm coming with it, it's like these guys, like they don't. What is a role? Like if I say roles of engagement to the police, I mean I'm not anti-police at all. I love the police. I support the police because they do some shit that's shitty, but you send a bunch of 18, 20-year-olds over to Afghanistan and say, hey, you got to follow this role of engagement, and if you violate that at all, you're going to wind up in Leavenworth the rest of your life, and qualified immunity in the United States for the police. That's my big argument right now.
So qualified immunity it's kind of like the status of forces agreement for the military. If you accidentally drop a bomb on a wedding party, you can't be prosecuted for murder, or if in the you are doing your duties as a police officer. If people get injured or shit gets broken, I mean firefighters get. I mean they like to break furniture when they're putting out fires for some fucking reason.
Oh, dude. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
They're not liable for that damage. That's kind of what qualified immunity is. But
they've taken it to a sense where, like, I think even the Supreme Court has even came out and said, like, hey, if you're a police officer, you're not even like obligated to protect people. Like this whole Uvalde thing. But I mean, what was it like? Uvalde,
dude, that
like police departments they're getting fucking hit up with like a fucking $27 billion lawsuit. No?
I don't know. That town is so small. I don't know if that town has ever seen that kind of money.
Well, I mean, it's like Alex Jones getting hit. Like, I don't even think Alex Jones ever had like over $1 million in his life, but he's getting hit with almost $1 billion.
Almost 960. So. I think the last 965 million. So much money.
But I mean, I understand like body armor for police and stuff like that. And I mean, that makes sense to me. But when you start handing them like 240 Bravos and robots and, you know, like C4 and MRAPs, and I start scratching my head a little bit like, hey, this is shit for combat zones.
Yeah, Ice just chimed in. He said, "Remember Killbot during the Dallas the mass shooting?"
That's
Yes,
what-
yeah, we
yes,
were just talking about that.
It's like I have no problem. Like I said, I have no problem with equipment, but it's just like they keep. I don't know. Maybe I'm like the weird libertarian coming out of me is like, hey, they keep taking our rights away, and they keep giving the government more and more power, and that freaks me out. And that's just the way I look at it. At that point,
I think that this capability, and let me see. Holly said that Nashville Bomb Squad has a robot. Yeah, it's a bomb diffusing robot or something to go and to look. I've got no problem with that. What I'm talking about is offensive robots that go and take out the bad guys.
Like, okay,
I don't think that they're.
okay.
I don't think they're going to operate like autonomously. I need to see your license or whatever.
I was about to say the RoboCop.
RoboCop,
Please
yeah.
drop the weapon. Blah blah blah. You have 20 seconds to comply. Like that freaks me out. That freaks me out because I can just be minding my business, smoking a cigarette, and the AI, says, hey, he's got a lighter in his hand. He can build a flamethrower, and the AI goes to this whole fucking scenario that I need to go through. Next thing you know, I'm getting blasted down in my yard by a robot.
Smoking kills, dude. Smoking kills. What the hell?
Well, pick your poison, man. Come on.
Fuck.
I don't know. It's just a fucking very debatable debate at that point.
It is, and I think it's a great tool to have. I think it's a great tool for law enforcement to have. I don't think it should be used every day. I think that if there's super dangerous situations going on, yeah, deploy the death bot or whatever the hell you call it to take care of business the best that they can. It's a good tool to have. You don't have to use it every day.
Yeah, but the problem is they'll use it every day if they have the ability to use it every day.
I guess we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of dangerous. There's a lot of dangerous fuckers in the world.
People were bitching about MRAPs going to the police, and I was like, okay, well, that's surplus. At first, I was like, that's surplus. Sell to the police. It's better than going overseas somewhere. That's where my brain works.
Yeah, and it's cheaper than a municipality saying, "Fuck, we need hundreds of thousands of dollars to get one," where we can get one surplus from the military for $10,000 or whatever.
But then anytime the fire is called, you're like, hey, we've got a fucking there's a fire. All of a sudden the MRAP shows up. That gets kind of sketchy a little bit. Why are you deploying the SWAT team?
It's intimidating.
To go to a fucking
It's fucking. I will give you that. It's definitely intimidating. And people and citizens need to feel comfortable. And I don't know if this is helping, especially in California, where they're kind of tender over there. Well, not everybody, but
California's its own beast. They created our own issue at that point. I will say that at that point.
And Gary Branscombe, until criminals reprogram the bot. You remember, like Hitchbot? Hitchbot got killed in Philadelphia, didn't he?
I
Hitchbot was just a robot that was like roaming the streets. He was going from point A to point B.
He was trying to go through the states until he got into a fucking shitty city, and they beat the shit out of it.
They busted him up.
Oh,
all right. Enough of the heavy stuff. Let's talk about fishing. Fishing is relaxing. It should be a relaxing experience. Have you ever been ice fishing?
I was about to say ice fishing. All right. No, you said fishing. My brain went like cybersecurity, but yeah.
Not with a P. With
ice
an F.
fishing with the current climate. I don't think I've ever been able to stand on a lake. That's frozen.
I did a portion of my growing up in the north, and I've done ice fishing before. I don't like ice fishing. It's cool. I mean, it's cold. It's freezing. It's fun, but it's not. It's an invented activity for people that are addicted to fishing. I think. I mean,
I like fishing.
I do like fishing. I do like fishing. I don't like ice fishing though. It's just so you don't cast. You just kind of drop your bait, and you may or may not get something. So there is when I was in Montreal earlier this year, really at the beginning of this year, and I drove across the St. Lawrence River, and there are people like in the eddies that were just I mean, they were set up, dude. I mean, their cars were out on the river. They had tents. They were staying there for a while. It's like they were camping on the river, and they were doing ice fishing. There were probably 20 or 30 in this certain area that I saw. And I tell
ice camping.
Yeah, but it was I mean, it was cold as shit, dude. It was like -20 every single day, at least -20. And when it warmed up, it would snow, and it was kind of neat. So you know that the water was frozen pretty good. So you'd have to drill down a long way to get to the water. So in Minnesota, I mean, dude, this is only December. It's not really, even though it may be cold up in Minnesota, it's not that cold, and it hasn't been that cold for long. So check out this story. 200 people were left stranded after a large ice chunk broke off in a lake in Minnesota on Monday. The sheriff's office said that police and other responders evacuated a group from the Upper Red Lake on Monday morning. And this is a lake. It's a twin lake. There's the north side, or the Upper Red Lake, and then there's the Lower Red Lake. So a big chunk. All these fishermen were out there, and this chunk of ice broke off and started floating out to sea. Is that how you say it? It was going out. So there was no connection between the shore and these fishermen. A statement from the sheriff's office posted during the rescue says, quote, "If you are on the ice and you need to evacuate, head towards JR's Corner. There's a temporary ice bridge to get you across from the open water." Northwoods Fish Houses, LLC, a company which works at the lake, estimated that around 200 people were on the ice chunk after it had broken off. A staff member estimated there was about 60 feet of water between the ice chunk and the main ice sheet. It's not cold enough, folks. Stay off the ice. Wait. Just wait. My daughter sends me pictures all the time. You know, she goes ice fishing up in Montana. And I just get nervous. I'm like, just don't go out there too soon.
Some of my great uncles were really big into doing that, but honestly, I can only remember maybe 2 times in my life where the lakes froze up enough where you could just go. I mean, it's a legitimate fishing tactic. Mm-hmm. I'll give it that. And because you can instead of having to have a boat, you just walk across the ice and you can catch a big pike, and trout, and whatever, muskie, whatever you're fishing for at that point. But you won't. I don't like the cold like that. My bones hurt.
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, everyone saw me. I was wearing a hoodie earlier. It's not that it's cold here. It was almost 70 degrees, but it was cold last night. So my house stays. I don't run my heater unless I have to.
Insulation.
No, I don't. My house is insulated, but when it cools down, it stays cold. When it warms up, it stays warm. So if I ran the heater,
you got good insulation.
Okay. Yeah, so
it's too comfortable. It's too comfortable.
I need to be uncomfortable. I need some suck in my life.
Maybe it was the army that made me go hey, I don't want to freeze my dick off for no reason.
I've got, I could run my heater and it would be fine. It's not going to break the bank. I've got the capability of paying my bills, but why spend money if you don't have to? So I just don't run my heater.
I don't know, like during the winter, the house never goes above 68. Mm-hmm. And during the summer, the house never goes above 70. I mean 72. I keep it 72. Like if it's so hot out that my AC's running, let that bitch run. But during the winter, if it's like 68. That's when the heat kicks in. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool.
I think it's one of those things. I think it's an experience thing. If I'm outside working all day in the heat, I want to come home and I want to be in the air conditioning. And mm-hmm. Conversely, if I'm out working in the cold, when I come home, I want to be in the heat. So I'll want to be warmer than 70 degrees. And in the summertime, I'm definitely wanting to get down below 70 degrees.
Tell you what, living down in Florida for as long as I did, it gets hot as fucking Florida. You walk into a house, it's 78 degrees. It feels like a goddamn. You think 78 degrees, it sounds like a sauna, but when it's 110 outside, you walk into 78. It's like
it's awesome.
A beer cave.
Yeah.
A beer cave. Yes.
Holly says she keeps her house like a deep freezer year round. 67 is the magic temp.
There you go. Well, I mean, some people are like that. You
60,
live in a cave.
The upper 60s are good for sleeping. And that's in the summertime. I'll keep it down around 70, 69 or whatever when I'm sleeping. Summer or in the wintertime here, it's my heater's never on. But if I get cold, if I'm sleeping and I wake up, I'm like, damn, that's cold. I'll kick the space heater on for about 20 minutes and then turn it off. I have no idea.
I got the old floor vents. You push the heat up.
Yeah.
During the winter, I plug them things. I'll put like towels or a pillow over top of that, so it's just like no heat. Like when I wake up in the morning, my room is probably about like 56 degrees. I'm fine with that.
You got like you got 700 pounds of blankets.
Yes.
There you go. I love lots of blankets. I love blankets, man.
Every animal known to man fur. I'm sleeping around.
So anyway, all of the stranded fishermen were rescued, and there were no casualties. So you got
It's kind of amazing, though.
It is, and it happens. I mean, there's certain lakes where, like, if the wind is blowing a certain direction, there is a risk of ice chunks breaking off and then them taking them out. So it happens.
Curious at how many of them said, "Hey, we're floating, we're free floating." They're like, "Oh, fuck it, I'm free fishing." At this point, they just kept fishing.
They're like, "Fuck it, it'll be fine. It'll be fine." The thing is that they're not big lakes. That ice chunk would have blown to the other side of the lake, and then they could have gotten off there. It's not like it was melting and they were gonna, like sink. So student loan forgiveness got dealt another blow yesterday or the day before. In August of this year, President Biden announced that he would forgive up to $10,000 in student loan debt for borrowers making less than $125,000 a year, or $250,000 for married couples. Student loans, or students who had received Pell Grants that benefit lower income students, would have up to $20,000 of their debt canceled. During the 2020 presidential campaign, Biden promised help to debt-saddled former college students. His program had drawn opposition even from his own party, who have portrayed it as shifting the burden of debt from wealthy elites to lower income Americans. The Congressional Budget Office calculated that student loan debt forgiveness would cost $400 billion. To date, 26 million students or former students have applied for, and 16 million applications have been approved. So on November 10th, a federal judge in Fort Worth, Mark Pittman, issued an order vacating the debt relief program. And, I don't know how you can do that. It's the legal process. I have no idea how that operates. The order was appealed by the administration to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and on Wednesday, the appeals court rejected the administration's request to overrule the judge's order. So I guess the debt relief isn't happening yet?
Conveniently enough, they started offering debt forgiveness right before midterms. I'm just going to say that.
It was like
here's some free shit.
You know what I think? What I think is, and this is my personal opinion, is that President Biden made all these promises that he knew would never be fulfilled, because there would be legal arguments and it would be blamed on a judge or a series of judges as far as the Supreme Court goes. So I don't think President Biden really thought that this would ever come to fruition. I think that he would make the promises, he would get the support that he needed, and then it would be shot down in the courts, and then he would just say, "Yeah, it's not my fault.
No, not my fault.
Not my fault."
But it got everyone all hyped up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this dude's do actually what people have been promising forever.
81 million votes. And that's I think that he bought some of that. I mean, because us being in the military, it's like, you got the GI Bill, use the GI Bill. Especially if you're post 9/11, dude, you can become. I mean, You can probably get halfway through your master's degree on the amount of money that's been supplied by the
and
post
even
9/11.
some states offer like prior freaking what's it called, like a Homestead Act or the Montgomery Act? I can't, down in Texas, if you enlisted in Texas, you're going to school in Texas.
Dude, the fucking Haywood Act is awesome down here.
Yes.
It appears as though Raymond Trueblood is leaving. He says, have an outstanding weekend. You too, Raymond. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Yes.
Don't forget, we got shows. Let me see, right now, 4 days a week. Monday is the Monday edition. Tuesday is Pop Culture Warrior. Thursday is Sergeant's Time. And Friday, as you know, this is Friday Night Freedom. So thanks, Raymond, for hanging out. Have a great weekend.
All I gotta say is that image that you got on there.
Yeah.
Student loan debt forgiveness. Look at the I in forgiveness and tell me you don't see something.
It's a penis. Thanks for pointing that out. Now I can't unsee that.
Everything is uppercase except for that I.
No shit, dude. That is right. Oh my gosh. Everything is uppercase except for the I.
It just happens to look like a phallic symbol, but I'm just saying.
It's a weenie. So, have you ever been down to Mexico, Yucatan Peninsula?
Not that far. Farthest Mexico, like North Mexico, like Juarez, like in what's that, Brownsville, a little bit south of Brownsville. So Chichen Itza is a pyramid down in the. Oh, this bitch.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Damn. So Chichen Itza, it's like a 3D version of the Mayan calendar. It is what it is. I've never been down there. I've never been down there at all. It's considered to be the center of the Mayan universe. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world, along with the Colosseum in Rome, the Great Wall of China, the Taj Mahal in India, Christ the Redeemer in Brazil, Machu Picchu in Peru, and Petra in Jordan. So, a tourist, not an American. This is not an American. So
See,
I'm kind of happy.
When I saw the video, I don't know if you're going to show a video, but when I saw the video, I was like, this and self-entitled. I was thinking American right off the bat.
Exactly. I was thinking the same damn thing. No, I'm not going to show the video just because it's kind of long and uneventful. But a tourist from Tijuana caught the attention of security personnel at Chichen Itza when she ascended the famous pyramid at, Kukulkan. According to security at the archaeological site, the woman appeared to be intoxicated. Amongst boos and jeers from other tourists, the woman descended from the pyramid and was quickly detained by security, and she was taken into custody. The woman explained that she had climbed the pyramid as a part of a promise to her deceased husband, whose ashes that she managed to sprinkle atop the pyramid. This is not the first time that tourists have illegally climbed the pyramid. During the spring equinox of 2018, a visitor to the site quickly made his way up the structure to take a selfie to, quote, absorb energy. The pyramid in Kukulkan is also known as El Castillo, the famous Maya monument in the Yucatan, and arguably in the entire Mayan world. In 2008, Mexico's Institute for History and Anthropology prohibited all tourists from climbing the structure, citing that concerns that, damage. You want to preserve this. Because there are scientists out there going, there is going to be a point in time where just like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, there are no more. You can't go to the Hanging Gardens of Babylon anymore because it's gone.
Ooh, that would be an awesome thing to see, probably.
but it's going to be the same thing here for Chichen Itza. So yeah, that kind of sucks, man. But I get it. If that was like her husband's dying wish or whatever, spread my ashes over Chichen Itza. But it said she appeared to be intoxicated, so I pour one out for the old man, and that's so high though. Look at that. So many steps. So many people were sacrificed on that damn thing. Dude, the Mayans loved sacrifice and shit.
So I think it was the Mayans or the Aztecs that like held blood more than gold. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I know the Mayans valued. I mean, blood was like the thing. Blood.
Makes the grass grow green.
So
They were on to something.
So another, this is kind of religious, I guess. It's that's just what the society was. But monks. Have you ever? When I was in Korea, we went to Jeju Island, and we climbed a little mountain up there. And you can go up there, and there's a monk there, and a big ass bell, and it was just really cool. But in where the hell is this? In Thailand? This is definitely Thailand. A Buddhist temple in central Thailand has been left without monks after the holy men failed drug tests and were defrocked. First of all, I didn't know.
You're going exactly where I'm going with this.
I didn't know that you get drug tested if you're a monk.
That's news to me.
So the offending monks have been sent to a health clinic to undergo some drug rehabilitation. So I hope they recover. The temple is now empty of monks, and nearby villagers are concerned that they can't do any merit making. Merit making involves worshippers donating food to the monks. So they perform these good deeds, and it improves their karma. Replacement monks have been sent to the temples to allow villagers to practice their religious obligations. Thailand is a major transit country for methamphetamine flooding in from Myanmar, which is essentially China. On the street, meth pills called yaba can sell for 50 cents per pill.
Oh man, they got cheaper drugs than we got in the States, man.
Oh shit. So yaba can be easily found on every corner in Thailand. Supply is up everywhere, and at this point, a tablet is cheaper than grabbing a beer. So that's why people are like really. Thailand is so strict on drugs, man. I can't imagine. Authorities across Southeast Asia and around the globe have made record meth seizures in recent months, and there's a whole list of countries, and the United States is included for like meth and
Alabama.
Like Alabama.
It's all coming from Alabama. I'm just saying.
What, meth?
No, yeah, they got the Alabama meth in Thailand now. Just saying.
What's? I think I'm missing something.
The Alabama meth, this is the best meth. That's like the like caviar of methamphetamines, from what I understand.
I don't know. I'm such a virgin on this.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Okay, I didn't get it. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, way above my head. Way super above my head.
So Alabama meth in Thailand getting monks defrocked, I guess is what the term is, right?
I just like the fact that I found a picture of Jesse Pinkman dressed as a monk.
Oh, because you just... I you know what? I need to do that. No, that's cultural appropriation. I won't do that.
So I guess we're gonna end the show here, and we're gonna talk about this guy. Remember the dude who got arrested, and he had a mugshot that people just kind of, they're like, holy crap. He had this huge ass neck.
Dude's body fat content in the Army's like tape and measure was like 1%, maybe
or less. So in Pensacola, Florida, a Florida man. I guess you can call this our Florida man story.
Florida man
went viral for a mugshot featuring his unusually large neck. Is behind bars again. This time it's a stalking charge. The man's name is Charles McDowell, 35 years old, from Pensacola, Florida, was booked into the Escanaba jail on Sunday on charges of aggravated stalking and withholding child support. McDowell allegedly showed up at a woman's house in August and sent her threatening text messages. He gained internet fame in 2018 when he was arrested on multiple drug charges. His mugshot went viral with hundreds of thousands of comments and shares due to his unusually large neck. At the time, social media users left comments like, "Y'all leave this man alone. I'd bet he'd stick his neck out for you if you needed help." Another user joked, "You people should be ashamed of yourself. All this negativity isn't right, y'all." McDowell wasted no time at all capitalizing on the fame. He refers to himself as Wide Neck on social media. He currently has over 1 million followers on Instagram. He has released several rap songs under the name Wide Neck. McDowell partnered with fellow rapper Daddy Longneck, a very thin kid with an unusually long neck, and you can see him in the lower right. And they recorded a song called "The Next Big Thing," spelt with N-E-C-K. And I dropped a link to that video in our chat here at the station. It's pretty horrible. It's like a minute and a half, maybe a 2-minute song, and it's pretty bad. The song has nearly 6 million views on YouTube. It's still there. You can see it. The viral sensation is no stranger to law enforcement. He was arrested in Alabama in 2019 for allegedly leading police on a high-speed chase. He was charged with eluding police, second-degree marijuana possession, driving with a revoked license, reckless driving, and improper lane usage. Well, they just stacked on the charges to this guy.
Oh, yeah.
So McDowell is currently being held without bond for the stalking charge. Look at that guy, man. That's a big-ass neck, dude. I don't know. Is that like a birth thing, or did this guy play football and that's just how big his neck got? Or he's a wrestler? You know, when I was in high school, the wrestlers always had necks like that. Just big-ass necks. This McDowell dude, he's done a lot of stuff. I mean, he does music. He's a musician. But he also has done like MMA fighting. So I don't know.
I can picture that big neck is like all the fat NCOs that I had when I was in trying to avoid taping.
Yeah, the bigger
they would sit there just work their neck out to make them so big that when they get taped, they could have a beer gut like.
But as long, I guess it's like a ratio between your neck size and your waist size.
I don't know. I knew a couple NCOs. All you gotta do is just work your neck out. You just work your neck out, you'll be good. And I'm like, I'm skinny, scrawny, and I just had like a little pudge on my stomach, like. I could run a fucking 2 mile in under 13, so I was good at that.
God, I could never run. Running always sucked for me.
Running was a good thing.
Gary Branscombe says small legs. If you look at him, he doesn't have much of a leg base. He doesn't have much of a base. That big ass neck though, holy shit.
That picture you got up right now, with them standing, looks like the grocery store or gas station. That looks like every gas station in Florida.
They shot they shot the entire music video inside a convenience store in Florida.
Exactly, it looked 100%. That is Florida. If you want to see what Florida looks like,
that's what Florida looks like.
That's what Florida looks like. Minus the crackheads sitting outside the gas station at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, "Hey, you got some change?"
All right, everybody. Wow, this was a good show. It went by quickly. Do we want to check back in on the internet? Is it still on fire?
Oh, it's definitely on fire right now. Let me hit the refresh button on this.
Let me see. Matt Talibi. Let's look at him. He has breached 1 million followers.
He was at 100 and something.
He's gained just today. He has gained 900,000 followers. That's pretty awesome.
I wish I only got 100. I'm happy with that.
I don't have any. I have 0.
Oh, there you go.
But I'm not going to be. I think my last band account, I think it was maybe 100. It is nothing.
Nah. I'm on there. I'm on there just to troll.
I should probably do better. I'm just not. I'm not good at promoting myself, which is
better. Do better.
I can do better.
Do better.
All right, everybody. I think we're gonna take off. Thank you, Gary, for the kind words. He says, "Good show, y'all." Thank you. We had no. I don't think we had no technical issues, which is awesome.
Oh, you just
now I just cursed everything. But anyway, so we're going to be back next week. We are going to be taking a break over Christmas. I looked at the calendar. I don't have the 16th blocked out, but I listened to Sergeant's Time last night, and apparently we're doing some station maintenance. So the last couple weeks of December are going to be like gone, like no show.
I might actually be disappearing out west here soon, so
okay.
I'll let y'all know with that.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you all for hanging out with us. My name is KOZ, and this is Pookie. You got any parting words, man?
Yeah, don't drink and drive, don't kick your dog, don't beat your spouse, and don't fly American, and taxation is theft. Simple as that.
All right, everybody. Y'all take care. I love y'all, and see ya. Bye.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
My friend came to the door. She said, well, I was on the phone cooking me and my baby some breakfast. And she said, hey, something wrong. It's popping. I said, what? She said, yeah. I said, no. So the girl come downstairs. She come out her apartment with her baby with no shoes on. I said, oh, girl, it's cold outside. She said, something ain't right. I said, oh, man. She said, oh, man, the building is on fire. I said, no, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out. We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. This is WTF Nation Radio.